Let me just put something on you niggas' brains. What separates me from y'all? God chose me to do this.
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
I'm gonna tell y'all the rules to survive this situation.
I hate to break it to you, but the truth is...
If I was what? Say it again. What'd you say? No, that's what I thought you said.
I always tell the truth, even when I lie.
You know, if you wasn't my brother, I'd kill you. You know that, don't you? I'd blow your motherfucking brains.
Yourself, man. Let them know what's up. My name's Tre Nitty Gritty, man. I'm from Waterloo, Iowa. Order in the court. We hold court in the streets. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Tre Nitty Gritty, and I'm right back like I never left, man. If this your first time to the channel, hit that subscribe button, like, share, and tap that notification bell so you can get notified anytime I drop some new content. Right now, man, I'm bringing y'all the raw truth, man. Ain't nothing but the raw truth. If you got some questions, go to rawtruth@gmail.com. Send them there. If you want to remain anonymous, we can do that. If you want me to give you a shout out, I'll do that. I'll promote anything you got going on. It's just to let you know, this is just what we doing, man. Mercedes-Benz 23, 2025. Should you go on ahead and help somebody even if you know that it's gonna hurt you? That sounds like a crazy question, but it ain't no such thing as a stupid question, so I'm just gonna answer it anyway, If you know that it's gonna hurt you to help them, then you obviously shouldn't help them. You know what I'm saying? That's just the raw truth. In another situation where you got to just say no. People be having a problem with saying no, or saying no, or telling somebody that they don't got something or can't do something, because they worried about maybe how they gonna feel or what they didn't do, or maybe they feel like they owe somebody. I don't know what the situation might be. Everybody got their own reasons for whatever, but if you ever feeling like it's gonna hurt you to help somebody else, why would you help them? Because then in the end, they're not gonna be able to help you when you hurt. You just gonna end up in a situation where nobody can help you out of. So the best thing that I can give you, the most raw truth that I can give you is just, if you know that it's going to hurt you to help them, don't help them. That's just the raw truth. Young Star 22 just asked me, what do I think if he hit his girl on the first night? Has anybody else hit her on the first night? If you hit her on the first night, I guarantee you somebody else hit her on the first night, and they wasn't the first and they gonna be the last. So you just here for right now. You be there temporarily, you know what I'm saying? And that's just the raw truth for the situation. Ain't nothing wrong with it as long as you willing to accept it, man, but 9 times out of 10, if you hit it on the first night, somebody else definitely hit it on the first night. You might not have been, if you was the first one, you might have been the first one, but you won't be the last even then, because that's just like a character trait in somebody, to let people do things like that. And at some point, they're going to end up getting mad at you probably and figure out a reason or an excuse to go do some house. That's just what people be doing, you know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to point no, but that's just how it is. So yeah, man, if you hit her on the first night, somebody else probably did hit her on the first night, and if not, then somebody else would probably do that in the future, man. That's just the raw truth of the situation. I ain't trying to sugarcoat nothing, man. What about when you got somebody that's supposed to be a close friend and they say something, to you in a joking manner, but it's really degrading or downgrading or something that make you feel less than, or something to point out one of your flaws? I'm gonna just tell you the raw truth, man. That ain't your friend, man. That ain't your homie, man. They ain't, they ain't to be trusted, you know what I'm saying? It's like they really letting out the truth of how they really feel at a certain time, and you gotta take it at face value. When somebody show you who they is, that's just usually who they is, man, and that's just the raw truth of the situation, Like, you gotta be straight up with your friends, man, you know what I'm saying? Because when you tell one lie, you gotta tell another lie to cover up the other lie, and that ain't no lie, you know what I'm saying? That's just the raw truth, and that's just what I gotta tell you, man. So just pay attention, man, to things, and when you got people that's around you, and they might not be taking everything at face, for everything that it's worth, but you can get them a little bit of information that can help them out tremendously, you know what I'm saying? You got to tell your friends the truth, man. They got a family member in jail and they constantly keep calling them for money, you know what I'm saying? And they said that not even that ain't even the only fact, that they know that they're not using this money just, specifically on their commissary or for themselves directly, but except for habits that they have in jail, like gambling, drugs, whatever that it might be. So every time they're asking for something, they know what they're calling for. You know what I'm saying? So If you don't want to support what they got going on, man, you got to give them the raw truth, man, to tell them no, man. It's just flat out, I don't have it. You know what I'm saying? You know, there's certain people, when you have habits, you got to support your own habits. So if they in there and they having, you know, certain things going on that you ain't got nothing to do with, and you out here trying to support them, you sending them stuff just to try to help them get through their day, and they using it for certain things, you let them go and do that. But when you know what they doing with their money, when you sending it to them, then you just doing that with your money, you know what I'm saying? And that's just the raw truth. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Going to keep sending it if that's what you're going to do. But if you got any type of question about it, then that must mean that you got a problem about it, you know what I'm saying? So don't just let them just dictate what you're going to do with your money. If you working hard, you going to work, you know, every day, working all week, working all month, paying bills, got responsibilities and all that, and some people just might be just depending on you to do things for them, and it's just, that's not how it works, you know. So sometimes you got to tell them the raw truth, and don't just let them just, you know, lean on you all the time. Not all the time. If you want to do something for somebody, do it for them when you feel like you want to do it for them, or when the time is right, or when it's necessary. But you don't have to do nothing for nobody when it's outside of what you want to do, you know what I'm saying? So that's all I can tell you, man. The raw truth is, tell them no, man. Do you feel like that your friends are automatically supposed to support you in whatever you got going on? And my answer is no. I might feel like they might supposed to support you, but they definitely might not support you, you know. So that's what you gotta be prepared for. You might feel like your friends are supposed to support you, but they might not support you because for a million reasons. They might not want you to do it. They might not like what you're doing. They might hate that you're doing what you're doing. They might want you to stay in a certain place, you know what I'm saying? So the whole thing is, you can't even focus on that. You got to focus on something bigger, focus on a whole different outlook, you know, have a different vision, you know what I'm saying? Because if you're depending on people to support you, then you're probably going to get let down. And when you get let down, then you're probably going to stop going. So I would say, don't expect your friends to support you. Hope they support you. Hope anybody supports you, but just keep doing what you do. You know what I'm saying? Because 9 times out of 10, they're not going to support everything that you're doing. Everybody don't got the same vision, and then not let them on top of that, he's got egos involved and people that don't want certain people doing certain things and being in certain positions. So they might do anything to knock you out of position. You know, they might sit there and support and watch and do everything you're doing just to try to soak up what you're doing, and then interrupt you the whole time and try to cause a conversion and make you where you fall, you know what I'm saying? Like they set you up for the okie doke. But the whole thing is, man, if you're feeling like that, then you already got it in your gut feeling. So follow your gut feeling, man. Don't let nothing just derail you off from your thoughts or what you're feeling inside yourself, because 9 times out of 10, what you're feeling is real. So if they don't want to see you winning, stay away from around them. You're going to know if they want to see you winning. You're going to know if they supporting you. You're going to know if they're in your corner, if they ain't. So just use your mind, man, and use your common sense, because that's all it takes. Don't nothing make more sense than common sense. It's just how we living, man. It's just the life that we live in. You know, it's a harsh reality, but we all got to, you know, understand that there's a lot of things in this world that we can't control. Be a friend to a friend, man. That's what I can tell you right now, and that's the raw truth. And if your friends ain't your friends, then you better know that they ain't your friends. Like I said, if you got any type of questions that you want to ask, just send it to rawtruth@gmail.com. Shout out to everybody that been supporting what I got going on, and shout out to everybody that ain't been supporting what I got going on, because I'm still doing what I'm doing, you know what I'm saying? And that's just it, you know what I'm saying? Y'all can hate it or love it, I'm still right here, man, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it's the raw truth, man. Tre Nitty Gritty, I'm your host, man. Y'all stay tuned, man.
Tre Nitty Gritty on the track. First thing, you gotta face that reflection in the mirror. You might gotta wipe it off just to see a little clearer. I try to down the fifth of liquor on the run for my past. There's so much time in a pen, I cut my life in half. First thing, you gotta face that reflection in the mirror. You might gotta wipe it off just to see a little clearer. I try to down the fifth of liquor on the run for my past. There's so much time in a pen, I cut my life in half. I'm looking in the mirror, staring in my own eyes. The toughest war is you against you, that's no lie. Snake gon' be a snake, a snitch gon' be a snitch. I pull up on these niggas like I'm money making Mitch. I'm money making grit, tryna bring a bag home. You ain't put your homies on, what you got a bag for? A chain ain't a chain if you ain't do it for the game. Got 100 in the clip, it's gon' leave more than a stain. Drop niggas, flop niggas like they dropped the floppy disk. Tre Nitty Gritty on the track. I'm tryna drop some shit, I'm original, you can check the format. Disrespect me and I'ma show up at your doormat. Guns clap like a standing ovation. He ain't know I had that many shots stuck in this cater. Got served like a waiter, left a hefty tip with him. Don't blame me, blame society, how we feel victim. First thing, you gotta face that reflection in the mirror. You might gotta wipe it off just to see a little clearer. I try to down the fifth of liquor on the run for my past. There's so much time in a pen, I cut my life in half. First thing, you gotta face that reflection in the mirror. You might gotta wipe it off just to see a little clearer. I tried to down a fifth of liquor on the run from my past. Did so much time in the pen, I cut my life in half. I'm the rose that grew through the concrete, I cracked that shit. Nobody ever showed me love, I never had that shit, unless it was fake. I survived being bit by a snake, but that snake didn't survive when he got hit by the Drake. I look into the mirror and I ask myself, what happened to the world like I was Jack myself? I don't know, all I know is that I'm playing my cards. You the type of nigga to let a bitch play with your heart. You a sucker ass nigga, thinking with your dick. If Diddy gave you a deal, you would take that shit. Face this shit, the truth is in your face. On my mama, you crossed me and tried to bring peace, but I'ma bring the drama. All I want is comments, nigga, I don't need friends. All I need is kilos, fuck the keys to a Benz. Got family at the table, cause family matters. You can't ignore the signs once they become a pattern. First thing, you gotta face that reflection in the mirror. You might gotta wipe it off just to see a little clearer. I tried to down a fifth of liquor on the run from my past. Did so much time in a pen, I cut my life in half. First thing, you gotta face that reflection in the mirror. You might gotta wipe it off just to see a little clearer. I tried to down a fifth of liquor on the run from my past. Did so much time in a pen, I cut my life in half. Tre Nitty Gritty on the track.